What's your name, King? What's your name, King? Huh? See, why my name is Ariana. We're gonna go through a little bit of history. Right. Let me get Amos chapter 1 and verse 6. I'm getting ready. Hey, don't run. Hey, I thought he was gonna be good. You see it? Bring it out. Proverbs chapter 28 and verse number 1. Bring it out. The wicked flee. Are you wicked? Huh? You say you're not? All right, so stand 10 toes down there. Let me get Joel chapter 3. Don't run. It's the book of Joel chapter 3 and verse number 3. Let's go through some good history. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for unholy, and sold a girl for one. Hey, T.Y. When it comes to these Arabics and these Pakistanians, right? Hold on, don't read it again. Chapter 28 and verse number 1. The wicked flee, the wicked flee. You know what I'm saying? The wicked flee. You get Pakistanians and the Arabics that have to back your ass up and put you in slavery. Your ass called it slavery. Right. Bring up them brothers. Bring your damn friends. Your ass gonna get slaughtered, decapitated with your head chopped off, and you Pakistani, y'all can pack it up. Bring it out. You Arabics, y'all can pack it up. The hell out of here, man. Hey, big bro, this. Yeah, I'll be your big bro, all right. What? Pack your ass up like a damn lunchbox. Bring it out. Here's Joel chapter 3 and verse 4. Yea, what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon? Whether y'all know it or not, the Bible speaks about every nation on the earth today. Tyre and Zidon. Right. Hey, mighty king, do you know who's Tyre and Zidon, king? Right? Tyre and Zidon. Let's go back to who that is. Bring it on. Yea, what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon? And all the coast of Palestine. All the coast of what? And all the coast of Palestine. So God is speaking to the Africans and the Palestinians. That's what he's speaking to. The Heavenly Father is speaking to the Africans and the Palestinians. And you Pakistanis. Right? You Arabics. You know? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head. So God is about payback. Like James Brown said, the big payback. Right. You hear that, sis? God is about payback. Get on down. Gonna get around. That was gonna be on the floor. The Heavenly Father is about payback. Right. And if you think James Brown has some dance moves, you wait till the Lord dance upon your blood. Is that Psalm 58? What you have? Bring it on. It's the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 1, and verse number 6. Bring it. It's like it. It's like it. Hey, if the Christians would bet all they pork on their table that the Most High was just all love. Oh, no vengeance, no hate. Yeah, God is all love. Love, he loves to give judgment. All right. Bring it out. This is the book of Nahum, chapter 1 and verse 2. Bring it out. God is jealous, and the Lord is revenging. And the Lord revenging and is furious. And the Lord will take vengeance on his adversaries. And he reserved his wrath for his enemy. All right, so you can say you are a friend. You can call us big bro. And all of this, man. That's why we just rolling them in. The hook, line, and sinker. Right. Yeah. That man thought we was his friend, man. He thought he was cool. That's why I asked him the question, man. How long you been here? You was born here? Said his father and his mom, Ethiopian and Pakistani. I said, okay. Right. How long you been here, though? You know? And now he's talking about he had to cover his face because he's scared to be here in 7 nights in cottage. Yeah, I wonder why. Because them people that you call them niggas in the corner, wait till they catch your ass. Stomp you out. Put you on a damn cigarette pack. Do your ass like a real smoke pack. Which they should have been doing. Instead of attacking your own people, attack these damn Arabics and these Pakistanians coming into your neighborhoods, man. Oppressing you, taking what is yours. Light their asses up. Right.
Shit, all praises. Chicago brothers bringing it out mighty. Okay, in these last days. Shalom, shalom. All praise, honor, glory, respect, and homage to Yahweh Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Here we are on another Wednesday wake-up call. This particular lesson is called House of Horrors, right? Now, talking about that because inside people's houses is some traumatic things occurring, all right? Horrible things, okay? And, you know, of course, in the Wednesday wake-up call, we talk about prophecy ties to current events, and to make sure that you get your house in order in these last days. Make sure that you are set up to prosper, you know, making your election sure, making sure, you know, you are not feeding into what's going on in the world and all these evil spirits here in Babylon. You know what I mean? You got spirits on you, get them off. Get them off. Okay. What do you gotta do? Fast and pray. You know, tonight is the beginning of from Wednesday sundown to Thursday sundown to HOI fast. Make sure you're doing it. Excuses. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're doing it, you know, you're medically able to do it. But I'll do it next week. I'll do it the week after that. And at the same time, you got spirits flying all over you. You know what I mean? The spirits is telling you, don't do it. Don't you dare fast. Okay. So what you gonna listen to? You know? How was I telling you to fast to get them spirits off you, or them daggone spirits telling you you ain't gotta do none of that. You know what I'm saying? Let's stay focused in these last days. All right. So let me get everything in order. All right. And before I start, of course, let me say Fair Use Act. Fair Use Act. This video is protected by the Fair Use Act. Tonight. It's like, yeah, this video is protected by the Fair Use Act. This is a teaching moment, thus protected by, this video is protected by the Fair Use Act. All right. Brother Dietrich is going to read the night. Shalom King. Yahweh Shem Yahshua Brakatham.
Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Brakatham.
All praises. All right, so we're going to start with Isaiah chapter 66, verse 4. Give me 1 second. But everybody can turn to Isaiah 66, verse 4. Much better. Okay. Slakia, much better. All right, King, when you got it, you can bring it out.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 66 and verse 4. I also will choose their delusions and will bring their fears upon them, because when I called, none did answer. When I spake, they did not hear, but they did evil before my eyes and choose that in which I delighted not.
Khan. So, you know, the Most High knows what you're afraid of. The Most High understands your fear. That's why, that's one reason, right? We should fear the Most High, because he knows what we're afraid of. Case in point, right? I knew this guy was, you know, in the streets, couple stints, you know what I mean, in jail, violent, you know what I'm saying? He'll get on you in a minute, you know, always carried a weapon, right? And I was close with this guy. And the one thing about him though is he wasn't afraid to go in any neighborhood. He wasn't afraid of people. He wasn't tall. He had like a Napoleon complex. He'd fight anybody. You know what I'm saying? That's one reason why we were so cool, because when I needed him, he was there. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. But he was scared of spiders. You know what I'm saying? So any neighborhood, he's walking on the block. He doesn't care. You know what I'm saying? He got a pistol or a knife on him, and you know, a bat. He was in the bats too, you know what I mean? Blunt force trauma. But he was afraid of spiders, you know? So, you know, the Most High knows what you're afraid of. Like the Most High, if you wanted to get at him, you know, he would just send 100 spiders in his house, or you know, he probably think there's spiders crawling all on him. You know what I'm saying? Because God has the power to do things like that. You know what I'm saying? So he knows what you're afraid of. He'll send you delusions. He'll send you things that, you know, that'll, you know, lose your mind. You know what I'm saying? Get you 302, you know, things of that nature. Okay. That's the guy that we serve, and we should definitely choose life. Okay. We should do the things that the Most High delights in rather than the opposite. Okay. Following these law, statutes, commandments, treating your brother and your sister like you would want to be treated, and doing all the things that's in Torah, doing everything that's in the Bible that the Most High requires of us. Okay. Let's get Psalm chapter 110, verse 6. All right. But we definitely in a time period where judgment is taking place. Okay. And you're going to see through these videos, which I can't even play all of them. We'll be here all night. But the things that are happening in people's houses amongst you know, their loved ones, people that they trusted at one point in time is mind-boggling. And in the short amount of time that these crazy stories have happened. Okay, we're going to get into that. But let's start with Psalm chapter 110, verse 6.
Come, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 110 and verse 6. When all have a say, come.
Con.
6. He shall judge among the heathen. He shall fill the places with the dead bodies. He shall wound the heads over many countries.
Con. So, you know, the dead bodies is piling up. All right. With that in mind, let's check out this the first video.
Tonight, answers from police in Duluth after 5 people, including 2 children, were found shot to death in 2 separate homes.
Investigators say all of the victims knew each other and they were part of a blended family. Brittany Ehrman spoke with neighbors and has the latest from Duluth.
The community is just in shock. Neighbors describe this blended family as loving, caring, and they got along. Now, the father accused of these shootings built this treehouse behind me and a little free library in front of the home. Neighbors telling me he loved his kids and those in the community. People are just trying to wrap their heads around how this could have happened. Right underneath a little free library in Duluth, a story of heartbreak.
I can't process that they're gone.
Duluth police discovered a quadruple murder and suicide at 2 different homes on Thursday after a welfare check.
An employee with the city of Superior who was concerned about another employee who had not shown up for work, and that was outside of their character.
Around 2 in the afternoon at this home on Tacony Street, police found 47-year-old Aaron Abramson and 15-year-old Jacob Nephew dead in their home. Investigators believe 46-year-old Anthony Nephew, known as Tony, shot and killed his ex and son from that relationship. At the suspect's home about a mile away, 2 more murders.
Pretty sad. It's horrible.
On West 6th Street, officers believe Anthony also shot and killed his wife and son, 45-year-old Catherine Nephew and 7-year-old Oliver Nephew. Police say the suspect died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
It's a complicated story, and I think that's important. I was just so sad when I heard it because of the loss, but also knowing that this is not something that Tony, when he was in his right mind, would ever do.
People describe this house as the heart of the neighborhood. Now, a sad reminder of a tragic loss too close to home.
The whole family was so wonderful. And I can't imagine the neighborhood without them.
We also learned one of the victims, Aaron Abramson, worked for the city of Superior in environmental services. In a press conference today, Duluth police said that the father accused of these shootings had a history of mental health issues. The motive is still unclear at this time. In Duluth, Brittany Ehrman, 5 Eyewitness News.
Great.
Okay, so Brittany Ehrman, you're gonna have to get used to seeing her face. She's in here again, very busy over there. That house was the heart of the neighborhood, so that neighborhood is clearly in disarray. Okay, so that's the house of horrors. The people are being taken out by the people of their own house. Do you know what I'm saying? And of course, there's prophecy in that. We're going to get to that later on. Let's get Exodus 12, verse 30. See, this is Egypt. This is modern day Egypt. In ancient Egypt, similar thing occurred. You know, the death angel went and killed the firstborn out of every house in Egypt that didn't have the blood of the lamb posted on the door. You know what I'm saying? So symbolically, we have to have the blood of the lamb to keep the death angel away from us. Okay. And how do we do that? We got to follow these law, statutes, commandments. You can't just say, I believe in Jesus and then expect to be all right in these last days. That's not reality. The reality is, he said, if you love me, you keep my commandments. Okay. And that's what I intend to do. I advise everyone to do the same, but I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just going to give you the message. Do it whatever you will. All right. But let's bring that out. Exodus chapter 12, verse 30.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 12, and verse 30. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants, and all the Egyptians. And there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead.
So you can imagine in modern day Egypt, modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, modern day Babylon, you know, what's the Most High got in store for this captivity? What these people have done to his chosen people for centuries. Judgment is now taking place. So Tony, when he was in his right mind, he would never do anything like that. Well, guess what? Tony is not in his right mind, and a lot of Edomites are not as well. But we cannot just put this all on Esau. You know what I'm saying? Judgment has to begin with the house of God. Our people, amongst our people, have found wicked men. You know, so the Most High has judgment. He's dishing out judgment, like Ariel was bringing out in at camp. The Most High loves judgment. Okay, and we're going to see another judgment that took place actually here in Philadelphia. Okay, so let's get Psalm chapter 7 and verse 15. This happened in West Philadelphia and ended in Southwest Philadelphia. Okay, a domestic dispute. So you're going to hear that a lot tonight. Domestic. You know what I'm saying? People that at one point were in love. Now it turns tragic to you know, homicide. Okay. But in this situation, well, we'll let the video speak for itself. You can bring that out. Psalm chapter 7, verse 15.
Come on. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 7, verse 15. He made a pit and digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made.
So, you know, in these last days, you reap what you sow. You know what I'm saying? You dig a pit, you're gonna fall in that joint. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, read verse 16.
Verse 16. His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate.
So let's watch this next video.
Breaking right now, a man is dead after a police-involved shooting. Shots were fired at multiple locations in 2 neighborhoods in the city tonight, and a man was carjacked along the way. It is Sunday night. I'm Walter Perez. The big story in Action News is the investigation into the deadly police-involved shooting. Investigators are working to sort out the events that unfolded in West Philadelphia and Kingsessing tonight. Action News reporter Brianna Gallagher joins us live from police headquarters with the very latest. Brianna.
Yes, Walter, shots were fired at 2 separate scenes tonight. One man was carjacked. Another man who fled from police is now dead. Now investigators are trying to piece together what exactly happened.
There's a lot of work to do at this particular time. We have to interview the witnesses that are there. We have video that we have to collect. There's a firearm here that has to be examined. There's other evidence here. So it's going to take some time to put this all together.
According to Philadelphia police, just before 6 o'clock tonight, officers responded to the 5400 block of Chancellor Street for a disturbance that took place inside of a home between a man and a woman believed to be his girlfriend. Police say it was the girlfriend who called 911 because the man allegedly fired a shot inside of the home.
At some point, an officer in that district, in the 18th district, responded to that location. The male exited the house. The officer, as he approached, seen the male walk over to a pickup truck, a black pickup truck.
At that point, police say the man told the driver of the pickup truck to get out of his truck. That's when an officer confronted him and had fired at least one shot. Officials say the 47-year-old man fled from police and a chase began.
That caused officers to attempt to apprehend the male. There was a pursuit that ended up here at 52nd and Woodland Streets, where that car came to rest.
According to police, the man was armed. They say he got out of the pickup truck as officers and a sergeant tried to stop him. That's when additional shots were fired at the suspect. Officials say the 47-year-old was later pronounced at Presbyterian Hospital, and it's unclear at which location he suffered the gunshot wounds. Police do know that the suspect discharged his weapon inside of the home during the disturbance that prompted the 911 call.
He had a firearm. I don't know all the details of the confrontation, but I know the firearm is still here. There was a firearm present and officers fired at some point during that confrontation.
Once again, officials are in the very early stages of their investigation. Right now, they will be interviewing witnesses and they'll be going back to both locations to look for cameras. There are no known injuries to the others involved or the officers. We're live outside of Philadelphia Police Headquarters. Brianna Gallagher, Frax News at 10 on PHL 17. Walter.
Okay, Brianna, thank you.
So they interviewed the guy that he tried to carjack, and he was saying the guy was out of it. You know what I'm saying? He could tell that something was off with him. You know what I'm saying? And he just opened his door and he was like, "Can I help you?" And he saw the gun. So then he's like, "Yo, just take what you need." And the guy was like, "Nah, you stay here." And you know what I mean? Like really glassy, you know what I'm saying? And around that time he tried to run and the guy chased him. And he realized the guy had a gun and he, wasn't getting away from him. So he just stopped like, "Yo, what do you want?" You know what I'm saying? "Take the car." I don't, you know what I mean? But, it started with a domestic. He's in there arguing with his girlfriend and fired a shot. They didn't say that the shot hit her, but, these toxic relationships, you got to get a hold of them. You know what I'm saying? In a toxic relationship, you gotta figure something out in these last days, man. Don't wait until it just blows up to something like this. Sit down and have a talk. If you see you and your significant other, it's getting bad. Like, I don't even like when you're breathing, and you know what I mean. Like, why are you always talk? You know what I mean? Just constant arguments and stuff like that. Some people, they thrive on that. Some of our people actually thrive on that. And like, if it's not toxic, then they got to make it toxic. But, not understanding that it can go from bad to worse really quick. Okay. So let's get Numbers 35 and verse 16. A lot of places around Babylon are turning into house of horrors. They're turning into crime scenes. They're getting out the yellow tape, the red tape. You know what I mean? Coroners are picking people up. Okay. And this is what is prophesied that would happen. And it's happening. Okay. Let's bring that out. Numbers chapter 35 and verse 16.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 35 and verse 16. "And if he smite him with an instrument of iron, so that he die, he is a murderer. The murderer shall surely be put to death."
So what if the justice, quote unquote, justice system doesn't work? Does this person stop? You know what I mean? And in this situation, in this case, no. This person was deep into criminal activity. You know what I'm saying? And in these last days, things are going to catch up. You know what I'm saying? Things are going to catch up, and some of these men and women, but a lot of I'll say more men, these violent criminal acts, Most High will use them as a death angel. Okay, so let's get Proverbs chapter 1 verse 10. It seemed like this guy was, you know what I mean, being used in that aspect, because the first time he committed a violent act, he didn't go to jail, so guess what? He did it again, but this time he got caught. Now, how many times did he actually do this and get away with it? It seems, just looking at the video and his background, he was constantly in a criminal activity. Some people are just drug dealers, you know what I'm saying? Some people are have bad tempers, so they have multiple assaults for fighting and stuff like that. Seemed like this guy had his hand in everything, you know what I mean? And he had a girlfriend, you look, you pause in the tattoo. He has a tattoo of Freddy Krueger on his leg. What did you think was going to happen? You know what I'm saying? We got to use discernment as well. Not knowing her background, or, she might be into guys like that. But as you can see, you know what I mean? Women that I want the bad boy, you know what I'm saying? He's always into something. Oh, I love it when my man calls me from jail asking for bail money. You know what I'm saying? I love when my man, calls me from, makes a jail phone call for $20 a minute. You know what I'm saying? Just draining my account. If you love that, you're gonna find out what makes this guy tick. You know what I'm saying? And it's evil. There's nothing righteous about the things that this guy was doing. But let's go with that Proverbs chapter 1 verse 10.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse 10. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not.
Don't consent. Go ahead.
Verse 11. If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood. Let us murk privately for the innocent without cause.
Go ahead.
12. Let us swallow them up alive as a grave, and whole as those that go down into the pit.
So hold that and watch the next clip of this. This guy is deeply into criminal activity.
Our top story at 10, a man is behind bars accused of a deadly shooting. And tonight we're learning it's not the first time he's been charged with murder. Police say Franco Summers killed his girlfriend's father during an argument over the weekend. Only on KENS 5, we spoke with that young woman who witnessed her father, Christopher Fuentes, being shot.
Franco looked me in my eyes and then shot my father, and I keep seeing my father's face once he realized that he was shot.
Now, another family says the shooting could have been prevented. KENS 5 reporter Hannah Tita is following developments. And Hannah, the suspect was previously accused in a different deadly shooting.
That's right, EC's Franco Summers was accused of murdering a teenager back in 2013, but that charge was dropped and he was released from jail. Tonight, the teenager's mother tells us the justice system has now failed two families.
First, he kissed my son, and now this.
A picture of Roger Rodriguez on her arm, his memory tattooed on her heart. This is where a grieving mother visits her son and celebrates his birthdays.
Losing a child is the worst pain a mom can go through.
Back in January of 2013, authorities say Franco Summers shot and killed the brother of his then girlfriend. 17-year-old Roger Rodriguez died on scene.
My brother tried protecting me, and that's all he did. And, and the outcome was him dying.
Court records show Summers was charged with murder and assault with a deadly weapon, but those charges were dismissed. The Rodriguez family tells us he was only behind bars for a few months before being released.
He's claimed self-defense. that my brother threatened him or had a weapon. I don't think a weapon was found on my brother or anywhere near him. You don't shoot somebody 4 times in the back and get away with it and claim self-defense.
The family is fed up after a second deadly shooting. Early Saturday, police say Summers fatally shot his girlfriend's father, Christopher Fuentes, after an argument at a Northside restaurant.
She saw her dad get killed. I saw my son get killed. To hear that he's killed someone else again, it definitely brought back a lot of emotions, a lot of pain, a lot of hurt.
This time, the Rodriguez family hopes Summers stays behind bars.
Are they going to listen to me now? Are they going to listen to Chris's family now?
And court records show that Summers has a lengthy criminal history. In fact, he served time after holding a woman and child hostage back in 2019. Now, Summers was arrested yesterday on an active murder warrant. He's also facing several other unrelated family disturbance charges. Live in the newsroom, Hannah Tita, KENS 5. Thank you, Hannah. Accused of shooting her.
Slocky. Oh, well, we'll get back to that. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 15.
You say Proverbs 1 and 15?
Huh.
Come. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and 15. My son, walk not thou in the way with them. Refrain thy foot from their path.
So if you see somebody going down a dark path, don't walk with them. You know what I'm saying? You're going to figure out why they're going that way. You know what I'm saying? The spirits that they're dealing with is you know, will continue on building up, you know, to an event like this. Let's go to hold that. Let's get Proverbs 16 verse 29. We'll come back to Proverbs 1. All right. You got to bring it out.
It's like, well, what was that again? Sorry.
Proverbs 16 and verse 29.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse 29. A violent man enticeth his neighbor and leadeth him into the way that is not good.
So, you know, in these situations, this man is very violent, you know, very violent. And, you know, bringing people into his circle, you know, like his girlfriend is dangerous, got her father killed, you know. We got to do background checks, you know what I'm saying? Figure out the person that you're sleeping next to, figure out who they are, you know what I'm saying? You want to lay down with somebody, you know, you test drive a car, you know what I'm saying? When I mean test drive, that means you lay down with them and then figure out how they are. You know, you gotta, you know, court, you know, counsel, find out who this person is that you're letting into your house. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously, I'm sure just a Google check, you can find out that this guy was arrested for a homicide and that he has several domestic violence issues and a lengthy criminal record. You know, the best what's the word? The best way to see future outcomes is to look into the past. If this person was doing this, it's a possibility that he hasn't changed and that he's going to continue to do that. You know what I mean? The whole I can change him when he doesn't even want to be changed is just not going to work. You know what I'm saying? Let's go back to Proverbs. Now, of course, I'm saying it's not like people can't change, but if they don't want to change, they're not going to change. Okay, you're just going to be enabling them to continue to do the things they've been doing. All right, let's go back to Proverbs and let's get verse 16. Proverbs 1 verse 16.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 16. For their feet run to evil and make haste to shed blood.
So they're running towards evil. They're engulfed themselves in evil. They're getting tattoos of Freddy Krueger on their leg. Like, those are all red flags, you know what I'm saying? And they're quick to shed blood, you know what I'm saying? Over argument, this guy's shooting. You know, what could have been resolved, maybe a fist fight or something like that. He's got a gun, you know, he'll probably fight and then shoot him. You know what I mean? So that's something to keep in mind. Let's go to Sirach chapter 8. You know, so something like this can easily be avoided off the strength of his rap sheet. You know what I'm saying? He is a violent rap sheet. So when he does something violent, it's not like nobody saw this coming. I'm sure everybody did. I'm sure the judge did, you know, the prosecutors, the cops that keep on arresting him, you know. And, you know, it seems like the people that are getting shot are the ones that are protecting the women. So maybe if the women make better decisions on who they're with, then that will save her son. That will save her father. You know what I mean? Let's go to Sirach chapter 8 and verse 16.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 8 and verse 16.
Oh, wait, you know what? That's not it. I'm sorry. Salakia. Let me find that out. My bad. In fact, I'm about to come back to that. Let me see. Okay. No, it is. Yeah. Yeah, it is. My bad. I don't know what I was looking at. I was at Ecclesiastes. Yeah, Sirach 8 and 16. Salakia.
This is the book of Sirach, known in the Apocrypha Ecclesiasticus, verse 16. Strive not with an angry man, and go not with him into solitary place. For blood is as nothing in his sight, and where there is no help, he will overthrow thee.
So with this guy that's known for violent acts, you know, confronting him, you know what I mean, and you know, can be deadly. You know, it says do not go with a violent man to a solitary place. He's looking to kill somebody. Okay, and in these last days, we got to make better decisions. We got to make, you know, we should, you know, making decisions that, you know, survival is crucial. You know what I mean? Using discernment in situations. Okay. Now let's go to Matthew chapter 10 and verse 34. Now, does it make you a punk, a sissy, a coward? You know what I mean? Not at all. You know, not at all. Somebody cuts you off in traffic, you want to lean on your horn, give them the middle finger, throw a water bottle outside your car at them. You know what I'm saying? Or do you want to say, you know, hey, that guy's wife might be having a baby. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Or do what I do, check out their license plate. And their license plate, I can, you know, say it was 54, the last 4 digits, 5416. I'll look up, you know, what that is, you know, scripture, Isaiah 54 verse 16, or say it doesn't go that far. I'll say, okay, Isaiah 54 verse 1 through 6. And I just got a scripture. So thank you, person that just cut me off. You know what I'm saying? Because I could take it the angry route and the guy could shoot up the car. And if he shoots up the car, I might have family in the car. I might not get hit. They might get hit. So now I'm, you know, how does that make me feel for the rest of, you know, the rest of this captivity, knowing that my anger got out of hand and something happened to my family? You know, got to think ahead before something like that happens. Okay. I just had a friend of mine from, you know, from childhood, you know what I mean? When I was younger, he just got shot. I don't know. You know, he died, he got shot in the head, and he got shot in the face. You know, it was in his car, you know, not too far from where I'm at right now. So was it a road rage incident? I don't know, you know. he did some things in his past, but I believe he was past that, you know, so we'll see the outcome of that, but, you know, it's real. You know what I mean? He didn't wake up and say, you know, I'm gonna get shot and die today, you know, but we have to make, we should definitely be making decisions that, you know, bring on life rather than call death to us. Okay. Let's bring that out. Matthew 10:34.
Come on, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 10, and verse 34. Think not that I come to send peace on earth. I come not to send peace, but a sword.
Con. Okay. Slakia. Let's get that. Let's see what's going on. As far as, you know, this is Shahawashai saying this. So everybody, oh, I can't wait for Jesus to come back. He said, I'm not sending peace. I'm sending a sword. And in this situation, the sword was swinging.
Accused of shooting her mother, ex-boyfriend, and killing her father in court today for an Ananias Law hearing. Police say Charity Matthews shot her parents in Mobile October 20th.
Her father died and her mother rushed to the hospital. Our Ashlyn Mitchell joining us live from Government Plaza. And Ashlyn, walk us through what happened here.
Going into when a judge ruled today, Matthews will be held without bond under Ananias Law. And this all comes after Mobile police responded to a home on Avonlea Court in Mobile nearly 2 weeks ago. Investigators say they found Robert Matthews dead. His wife, Twinita, was shot as well and rushed to the hospital, but she survived. Hours later, Charity Matthews was arrested and charged with murder, 2 counts of attempted murder and reckless endangerment. Now, the state arguing in court today that this was just part of Matthews' alleged shooting spree. A Mobile police detective testified that Matthews shot near her brother's car the day before the Avonlea Court shooting. The car, the detective said, had Matthews' brother, his wife, and young children inside. Now, just hours later, the detective testified that Mobile police officers responded to Height Street in Mobile after police say Matthews showed up to the home of her ex-boyfriend, Samson Moore. Detectives allege Matthews shot Moore in the lower lip and chin area, but he survived. The next day, officers respond to Avonlea Court in Mobile around 8 p.m. The detective testifies that Robert Matthews was found with a gunshot wound to the chest and that his wife, Twinita, was shot in the eye. Now, I caught up with Thomas Walsh, Matthews' attorney, after today's decision, and he tells me he's concerned about the mental health of his client.
At this point, there's a mental evaluation that has been ordered, but I think it's a tragic situation all around. Death of family members, but it's also a tragedy. Mental health is not treated in this country, certainly not treated in the state properly. It's not funded properly. We have all sorts of resources going to every other program imaginable, going to every foreign country that has their hand out, and yet mental health treatment goes unfunded, or underfunded. What we have here is anything that is considered a serious crime, the state ends up filing an Ananias Law motion to deny bond. And while we root for it as an emotional tool for the public, what we have is something that circumvents the United States Constitution.
And according to testimony, it's still unclear as to what provoked the shootings. Now, Matthews has a preliminary hearing set for November. Reporting live from Government Plaza, Ashley Mitchell, Fox 10 News.
Well, man is stabbed and killed with an...
Okay, well, slow down. Let's get, can you read verse 35, Matthew 10, verse 35?
Come on, verse 35. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
So that sister was taking out everybody in the family. You know what I mean? Swinging a sword, which would be the modern day firearm. Okay, so with that, let's go to Micah chapter 7 and verse 6, and I'll get the next video lined up. And when you got it, you can bring it out, King.
This is the book of Micah, chapter 7 and verse 6. For the son dishonors the father. The daughter rises up against her mother. The daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies are the men of his own house.
So with that in mind, see Yahushua talking about the Old Testament, and so nice said it twice. And here is that situation in, I believe, Seattle once again. All right, let me cue it up. Just having troubles loading. I don't know what's going on.
Well, a man is stabbed and killed with an ice climbing axe, and now police say his own daughter did it because he refused to turn off the lights.
And according to investigators, Matt, 33-year-old Corey Burke murdered her father in South Seattle last week. Fox 13's AJ Janival has been talking to neighbors today about this shocking murder.
I was in that small South Seattle neighborhood today. There's a lot of families, a lot of kids, all of them home because of today's holiday. The neighbors that I spoke to tell me this incident has shaken them. Shattered glass sits outside the smashed out windows of a family home on Spear Place South in Seattle. According to a Seattle police report, 33-year-old Corey Burke broke the windows of her home in an act of liberation after murdering her father. Charging documents state Burke admitted to police she killed her dad. According to the report, Burke told officers she ambushed her father after an argument about turning the lights off in the house. The documents say Burke tripped her dad, choked him, bit him, then hacked at him with an ice climbing axe several times. According to the documents, it seemed Burke struggled with mental health. She told police she was just reborn last month around the time of her actual birthday in late October. She said she struggled with emotional boundaries with her dad, and when referencing the killing, told investigators she, quote, knew it needed to happen today. The murder happened last Tuesday on Election Day, according to the police report. Families in the neighborhood tell me they are struggling with the violence that happened so close to their homes. Several people I spoke to tell me Burke and her father lived together. They had been in the community for about a year. The neighbors I spoke to tell me they knew them from community events like block parties or asking Burke to pet sit. However, no one wanted to talk on camera. Many of the families in this community have very young children. The ones I spoke to told me they're trying to protect their kids from learning about the gruesome and unimaginable details of this case. Burke is charged with murder in the first degree. Her bail was set at $2 million. The prosecutor's office could not find any known previous criminal history. She's expected back in court later this month. Reporting in Seattle, I'm AJ Janival, Fox 13 News.
Ice axe. So that is definitely a house of horror over there in Seattle. Seattle's off the hook this week. But also let's get Genesis 49 and 5. So, act of liberation broke all her windows out, destroyed her father, destroyed her dad. This is something that's happening all over the country. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, a man's enemies is a man of his own house. So if you have a peaceful house, if you have a house of love, always, show gratitude to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. You know what I mean? If you live in a toxic environment, pray to the Most High. Pray to the Most High that changes. You know what I'm saying? Prayer definitely works, because some people just can't leave. You know what I'm saying? They can't go anywhere. They have nowhere to go. So, put that in the hands of the Most High and, watch what happens. Now, of course, you got to be following these laws, statutes, commandments. You know what I'm saying? You want to get God's attention, do what he says, okay? Let's bring that out. Genesis chapter 49 and verse 5.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 5. Simeon and Levi, brethren, instruments of cruelty are in their habitations.
Levi is wilding. Levi is shooting at planes. It says American Airlines. It says Spirit. They busting a gun at him. Okay, so let's watch this short clip of what Levi is doing over there in Haiti. It is unbelievable.
Several airlines are halting flights to Haiti after a Spirit Airlines flight was hit by gunfire. Spirit says this happened as the flight from Fort Lauderdale was arriving in Port-au-Prince. Now, one flight attendant has minor injuries. No passengers have been hurt at this hour. JetBlue and American Airlines also suspending their flights to Haiti. The U.S. Embassy saying it's aware of efforts by armed gangs to stop travel in and out of the capital. It says Americans in Haiti are traveling at their own risk. Tara, I want to talk to you for.
Okay, yeah. So anything that has American on it, Spirit on it, they bust a shot. So they said they gotta, they suspended flights. So that's what's going on in Haiti. You look at what's going on in Cuba. Cuba just had a 6.8 magnitude earthquake. I believe they were hit by 2 hurricanes within the past month. 2 blackouts. Some things are happening to our people, to the 12 tribes of Israel, keep them in prayer, and these prophecies are going to unfold. So pray that, they can, see the light, find out who they are in these last days. Okay. Let's go to Isaiah 19 verse 4, because in reality, these things are going to continue to happen, right? And we have evidence now that Jacob's trouble is closer than you could ever imagine. You might ask somebody from Haiti or somebody from Cuba when, Jacob's trouble is coming soon. They're like, man, I'm dealing with it now. What are you talking about? We had a blackout and didn't even know a hurricane was coming, or and then all of a sudden after the hurricane knocked everything out and we're in the dark, 6.8 magnitude earthquake showed up, so if you are not dealing with things that significant, that's what's going on in Cuba and Haiti, make sure you thank the Most High, that He continues to bless you. If you ate this morning and you ate yesterday, then you're doing a lot better than a lot of other people around the world. Okay, so you want to thank somebody, thank the Most High. All right. Let's bring that out. Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 4.
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 4. And the Egyptians would I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts.
So now we got Stephen Miller. We looking at Trump's cabinet is crazy. Matt Gaetz is now the attorney general. All these Nazis, the people that blatant not even dog whistles, they tell you exactly how they feel, but they're constant dog whistles and things of that nature. Elon Musk is in the government. So the people that he are putting in the government, this looks like Hitler's, Hitler's, what's it called? I guess Hitler's government, you know what I mean? But in the United States. So here they are. The Nazis have shown up. Let's watch this. And they'll talk about Stephen Miller. If you haven't heard about him, he's off the hook. But let's check this out.
First, about some breaking news that we're just getting in here at CNN. President-elect Trump is expected to announce in the coming days that Stephen Miller, his top immigration advisor, will serve as White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy. Tara, Stephen Miller's politics and his policy ideas all too well. We should remind our viewers he was one of the architects of the family separation policy during the first Trump administration. That policy, for viewers who don't remember it, resulted in the separation of thousands of migrant families, basically taking children away from their mothers when they came across the border into this country unlawfully. Tara, your reaction to Stephen Miller being tapped for this kind of a role?
Well, that's what people voted for. I suggest lots of folks who voted for Donald Trump go back and watch a lot of interviews and media appearances by Stephen Miller. And you see who he is. He's a despicable human being that is a racist and a xenophobe, and his own family has disowned him. And this is now who has proximity to power in the White House, basically number 2 next to Susie Wiles in the ear of the President of the United States. Well, I guess the upside is at least he won't be DHS Secretary or Attorney General. I mean, I don't know.
You think that's because they were probably worried that he couldn't get confirmed? Is that?
Probably, yes. But, Trump, that's why Trump is asking for recess appointments, and they're trying to circumvent normal institutions and processes, because you're going to find out that a lot of these people would not be able to pass muster once they are really on public display. I've often said that I do not think that not the MAGAs, they know what they got. But a lot of people who felt that, well, it was the economy, or it won't be so bad, or, they are not fully aware of what they have done and the people they have ushered in. You didn't just vote for Donald Trump. You voted for the people like Stephen Miller, the people who gave those speeches during the fascist rally there you had in Madison Square Garden. They voted for that too. So we're about to see what these people are going to bring onto the American people and our government. And God help us.
And I do want to bring in just very quickly Steve Contorno, our Trump campaign reporter. Steve, you've got more information on Stephen Miller being tapped as a Deputy White House Chief of Staff for Policy. I mean, that is a major role. And I guess one thing that we should note to our viewers is that 2 of the biggest announcements Donald Trump has made since winning the election about what's going to be happening with his new administration, 2 of the big announcements are basically pertain to his plans for mass deportations in this country. Thomas Homan as border czar and Stephen Miller as Deputy White House Chief of Staff.
Yeah, that's right. And I guess it should come as no surprise given how much emphasis Donald Trump put on immigration in his campaign, even when poll after poll after poll kept showing that the economy was the motivating factor for a lot of individuals. Donald Trump remained adamant that he believed that the top priority and the top concerns facing this country were immigration related. And the advancement of Stephen Miller into this role certainly aligns with that. Now, Miller has been closely involved with Trump's presidential campaign, and he has stayed close to the president after he left office. He has been one of the people who has been working behind the scenes to put together policy plans, executive orders, all of that could be help get the administration off and running from the moment Donald Trump is sworn in. And Miller is interesting as well because he will be under Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, who is really well known for being a manager of Trump's orbit and of Trump himself and being sort of a disciplined general, but she is not a policy wonk by any stretch. And Stephen Miller fancies himself as someone who is in the weeds and enjoys getting into these policy battles. And he has been very much someone in the past who has written and been influential in shaping Donald Trump's policies, especially on immigration. And you can imagine that he will work closely with Tom Homan on any plans regarding this mass deportation that Trump has promised and is setting the stage to deliver.
All right, Steve Contorno, thank you very much. I want to go to Antoine, who's with me and the rest of the panel. Antoine, your reaction to this news that we're getting, because I mean, this really should not come as any surprise to Americans out there who are saying, okay, Stephen Miller is going to be in the White House.
Well, it's certainly no surprise. Miller and others who we will probably see in this White House have wrapped themselves and baked themselves in white nationalism, Christian white nationalism, white supremacy, and so forth. And there's no education in the second kick of the mule, as we say in South Carolina. And so many of the things we're going to see, many of the appointments and many of the things the American people will feel will be just leftover or continuation of the first Trump White House. The difference between now and then is there's no unchecked power. He will have 4 years to do whatever he wants to, and the American people, led by the MAGA extremists, have given him a license to do whatever he wants to do, appoint whoever he wants to appoint, and say whatever he wants to say.
And Alvin, I do want to get you to weigh in here, but also your thoughts on what your expectations are for this next Trump administration that's coming in as it pertains to policies geared toward Black Americans. I mean, Stephen Miller, it's just been announced he's going to be the new Deputy White House Chief of Staff for Policy. But Stephen Miller is very steeped in immigration issues, and obviously that's going to be a major focus of this incoming administration. Donald Trump is making that very clear right off the bat, picking Thomas Homan to be a border czar and Stephen Miller to be a Deputy White House Chief of Staff.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it is a terrible day for people who are pro-immigration, but it's also a terrible day for Black America. I mean, what you also need to realize is that Stephen Miller is a principal architect of the diversity, equity, and inclusion bans that have swept this country in the last 2 years. He is also in league with the folks at the Heritage Foundation who want to defund the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, which is charged with protecting Black Americans and other minority groups from racial discrimination. Black Americans are the group that experience the most racial discrimination in the U.S. economy. So it is a terrible move if you're trying to support the Black community.
Yeah, and Antoine, I mean, same question to you. Your thoughts on all of this? I mean, one of the things that obviously is going to be asked is, what is Trump's focus going to be on in this new administration? Already seems to be making it pretty clear. He's sending signals to the MAGA crowd that you're going to get what you want. These are the people that I want to put in place.
Well, he has to continue to feed the beast. He has to continue to give them right meat, toned down, radical racial rhetoric in order to keep his base together, to keep his party together, and to deliver on his promises. But
all right, so let's read that. Let's bring that up again. Isaiah 19, verse 4.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 19 and verse 4. And the Egyptian will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. Oh, yeah, it's like, and a fierce king shall rule over them, says the Lord of hosts.
So it's the Third Reich. The Third Reich. That's how I couldn't think of what it was, but now it's Trump. It's Trump's Third Reich. Okay, so a lot of Nazis, a lot of white supremacists, pretty much blatant white supremacists. You know what I mean? Attorney General is now Matt Gaetz. You don't know who that is? Check him out. See who's running the country now. You know what I mean? He's got he's investigated for being with underage girls. These aren't like the cream of the crop, if you say. You know what I'm saying? This is really at the sludge at the bottom of the barrel that is now running the country. So they're going to run into the ground. The Most High picked perfect stooge and stoogettes, you know what I'm saying, to put the cherry on top to this, dismantling of Babylon. So all praises to the Most High, but please understand it's going to get rough, okay? So you want to focus in, you know what I'm saying? Don't go to the left, don't go to the right, deep water and fire. You want to be on the straight and narrow, okay? Sin should, Most High willing, sin should look very awful, you know what I'm saying, at this point in time, because even though it's going to get bad, you still want the protection. You need the protection of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, that the angels around you, and if you in the midst of your sin, you're open, okay? All right, a couple more, y'all, a couple more. Let's go to Isaiah 16, verse 7. So this is the house of horrors. You know what I mean? We started out with the house of horrors, how people are killing their family members, and it's death and destruction. And these nice Lake Placid homes, and smashing out 20-foot windows and everything like that. And then of course there's a microcosm with a bigger picture. America is actually a house of horrors, and the people that are running the show are some of the worst people on the planet. Okay, so not only are their houses a house of horrors, this country is a house of horror. Now let's go outside the country. Okay, let's go to China. We got to talk about China. All right. Let's bring that out. Isaiah chapter 16 and verse 7.
Come, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 16 and verse 7. Therefore shall Moab howl for Moab. Everyone shall howl. For the foundations of Kir Hareseth shall ye mourn. Surely they are stricken.
And so Moab's going through it. Heard the story, I believe, came out today or yesterday. Not too sure. But recently China had some issues. Like some guy just decided to run over a bunch of people, killed 35 people, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, talk about it was Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. It's gonna be great death. 35 people on one car. That's a good amount. You know what I mean? It wasn't no car bomb or nothing like that. He was just playing bumper cars with people. Let's check out the story. And of course, it's horrible. But like Mary Catherine Gallagher, horrible. The thing about it is they can't even mourn because in China, which is, a lot of people, the neocons or, the people that push war and everything, they appreciate the Chinese model of how they have their people in control. They got 1 billion people. They got them in control, robots watching them. And, people that they got, it was a Black Mirror episode where, you have a rating, you know what I'm saying? You have not a credit rating like over here, but a rating of like how you are as a person, your social rating. You get to a certain amount, they can just cut you off. You know what I'm saying? You get sink lower and lower. But, a lot of them, appreciate how China works. So when you look at this, look at the future, of America. Okay. You mourn the loss of people's death. They're like, no, you can't mourn. We'll throw you in jail. So serious business. Let's check out what's happening in China.
China's government faced mounting anger Wednesday over its handling of the deadly car attack there earlier in the week and appeared to be taking steps to limit news of the incident. On Monday, a man drove into a crowd at a sports center, killing 35 and injuring 43. But the government took nearly a day to announce the death toll, and the incident has been little reported by state media. Some online posts criticizing the government's response or questioning what the attack means for Chinese society were rapidly removed by authorities. Candles and flowers that had been laid at the scene on Tuesday evening at the sports center's West Gate later disappeared. A Reuters reporter on the scene said they were removed overnight. The west side of the sports center was blocked by metal barriers and guarded by security. Despite the efforts to clear the site, many kept dropping fresh flowers on Wednesday morning.
It was just a spontaneous feeling that I had when I came to lay the flowers. Even though I didn't know them personally, it felt like those times when I had family members pass away in the past. So I kind of understand that feeling, and this is my feeling.
We need to fundamentally improve the happiness of our people to ensure equality for everyone. Also, there shouldn't be extreme thoughts. Innocent people are involved here, but what do they have to do with anything?
Local police have named the suspect as a 62-year-old man with the surname Fan. He is being treated at a hospital for serious injuries after apparently stabbing himself following the attack. Investigators said the incident was seemingly triggered by the man's anger over his divorce. Chinese authorities on Wednesday called for full efforts to treat those injured in the attack.
Okay, so that's what's going on in China. So they're like, yo, you're not even gonna tell me about it. You're just gonna let it slide. You know what I mean? And who knows? 35, it could be 75, because the people that are in authority, over there in China, they'll tell you what they want you to know. But they did say 35 and like 43 injured. And those 43 didn't stub their toe. They got ran over by a car. I don't know if it was a car, truck, whatever, but and that car kept going. Goodness gracious, that was they make good cars over there, not to make light of it, but there's some good cars. You can run over 43 people and 70 some people, man. You know what I mean? I hit a pothole or you know, or a speed bump in these American made cars, you know what I mean? I'm off to the shop, you know, but China, these guys, man, that's innovation. It's innovation. But it's not all bad. It's not all bad. And those doom and gloom, it's called the House of Horror. So it is bad, but we want to, you know, make sure we have a balance, you know what I'm saying? The Most High needs balance, you know? So the balance is, there's some things going on that is showing us we're in the last days. It's showing us, you know, not saying any of these other stories aren't, but people say, well, people always been having domestic problems. People always been killing people in their house. Okay, yeah, that's true. But it's happening at a unbelievable pace, you know what I mean? And let's see what, you know, Jews, they had like a Jew kick the Jew in the head day or something like that over there in Amsterdam. They were stomping on him and everything. I don't know if you've seen those videos, but due to time restraints, you know, I will be here all night. Check that out in Amsterdam. They played, you know, Stump the Jew over there. And in Brooklyn, a father and his daughter slashed, you know what I'm saying? They had a person of interest, I think they were looking at in that, but that's another thing that occurred. A mom in Alaska beat her child with a kettlebell, you know what I'm saying? And called the dad and was leaving voice messages. You can hear the voice messages. It's pretty crazy, you know what I'm saying? As you can imagine. A guy choked out. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I thought you were finished. Go ahead.
Okay. A guy choked out. We have like DHS workers over here that, you know, like social workers that go to people's house, you know what I mean, dealing with issues with their children, this, that, and the third. He you know, choked the guy out on live stream, you know what I'm saying? Tried to kill him, thought he was dead, but the guy miraculously survived, you know what I mean? The Most High said, nah, you're gonna stay alive, because, you know, the guy would have got a murder charge, you know what I'm saying? But you know, he said the guy was in a room by himself with his 9-year-old daughter, and you know what I mean? Now he saw Liz, so he's probably saying, yo, you probably did something with my daughter. Brother choked him out, talked to him for an hour and choked him out on live stream, and then told him why he's gonna, you know, why this is happening. So what else we got? There's a 4B movement. 4B. The 4B movement is women that are promiscuous. I would say, like, sleeping around. Said, we're not gonna have sex no more. We're not doing any of that, okay? Because Trump's in office, we can't get abortions. So we're cutting off our hair and we're not sleeping with men. That'll show them. So look at that. Look at God. You know what I'm saying? Look at God. You know, not actually supposed to be sleeping around men to men anyway, and using abortion as a form of birth control. But if Trump can get in office and you change your life, you know what I'm saying, then all praise to the Most High. The wages of sin is death, and these women are not sinning until, of course, she get that 2 a.m. hey big head text, and then, you know, she's, you know what I'm saying, like the brother was saying, like, man, come on, hoe is life, you know what I'm saying, for a lot of these, you know, for these type of women. But if one of them changed, then dag nabbit, that's positive, you know what I'm saying. And it's a lot of it's really, you know, of course it's Edomites, you know what I'm saying. I didn't see Eve in this 4B movement, but if Eve jumps on like she does, hopping on everybody else's calls, you know, like feminism and stuff, then all praise to the Most High. The angels rejoice, you know what I'm saying. Maybe they come back to the law, statute, commandments, but at least they're not doing that one sin of just constant fornication, right? What else? There's another video we're gonna watch at the very end for entertainment purposes only. It's true, but it's hilarious. But oh, and also there's a UFO meeting on the Hill, like not meeting, Salakia, where whistleblowers, like 4 or 5 whistleblowers, was in front of Congress and get answer questions. I didn't see it. I plan on watching it, so you should check it out as well. see what's new in the public domain, you know what I'm saying, in these last days. All right, King, you can bring that out now. Baba Kashar, Isaiah 41, verse 18.
Whoa, I didn't hear that one. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 41, and verse 18. I will open rivers in high places, and fountains in the midst of the valleys. I will make the wilderness a pool of water, and the dry land springs of water.
Khan, go ahead.
19. I will plant in the wilderness the cedar, the shittim tree, and the myrtle, and the oil tree. I will set in the desert the fir tree, and the pine, and the box tree together.
Khan, so these are some amazing things going on. So Saudi Arabia desert gets snowfall for the first recorded time. All right, this is historic, you know, because the Most High is making a way, you know what I mean? We're in the wilderness, you know, because we're not going straight to Most High willing. Everybody that's on this call that's listening, that's aiming to be righteous. You know, get into the chariots, you know, lift us up while this place is getting bombarded by Russian nuclear missiles, North Korean nuclear missiles, Iranian nuclear missiles, Chinese nuclear missiles, and maybe even NATO nuclear missiles. Because now Trump is office, they don't like him. He's like, yo, y'all got to pay your way. They say, oh, gang, what you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, you got to give money to Ukraine. He said, no, we're going to cut that off. So they might just turn their nuclear missiles onto America. Everybody's going to shoot the, you know, the great whore. But, you know, to go into the wilderness, you're like, hold up, it's nothing but sand over there. What we gonna do? Most High is making that joint plush. Show up in there, see all these trees growing, you know what I'm saying? Might have an orange tree. Oh, we eating, you know? So it's some things that is letting you know that that time is close, okay? So just stay focused. Now we're gonna watch this, and we're gonna watch another video regarding about the same thing, you know what I mean? You know, things are growing. There's greenery over there in the desert. So let's watch this.
Yeah, I know they ain't got no snow tires.
Experts say, well, listen here, experts. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you, experts, we just read it. We just read what's going to happen in the wilderness, okay? And let's go to Isaiah 35 and verse 1. Just read what's going to happen. You're talking about experts because of the low pressure system and the way the coming off the Arabian Sea. Well, how come that ain't happened 20, 30, 40, 100, 200 years ago? Expert, okay? We already know what's going on, okay? But let's bring that out. Isaiah chapter 35 and verse 1.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 35, and verse 1. The wilderness and the solitary place shall be glad for them, and the desert shall rejoice and blossom as the rose.
So the desert is blossoming as the rose. Go ahead.
2, it shall blossom abundantly and rejoice even with joy, and singing the glory of Lebanon shall be given unto it. The excellency of Carmel, and Sharon, they shall see the glory of the Lord and the excellency of our God.
The glory of Lebanon. There's trees growing. You know what I mean? Now, because these places don't normally get any type of precipitation because it's the desert. But now that it is, you can imagine what's going to happen with the growing the lush greenery. Okay. Let's hold that. We'll come back and see the next video. The next video is kind of long. We're not gonna watch the whole thing.
Like the iconic scene in The Day After Tomorrow, where New York City faces an unprecedented climate disaster, reality now mirrors fiction as the Sahara Desert experiences a transformation that seems straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster. In a stunning turn of events that has left scientists scrambling for answers, the Sahara Desert, Earth's largest hot desert, has experienced its first major flooding in half a century. This September, an unprecedented deluge transformed vast stretches of golden dunes into shimmering lakes as more than a year's worth of rain fell in just 48 hours. From Morocco to Algeria, satellite images reveal an almost unrecognizable landscape, with water pooling in areas that haven't seen significant rainfall in decades. The scale of this transformation is unprecedented in modern history, with water bodies appearing in places that have been bone dry for generations. As climate patterns continue to shift and become more extreme, this historic flooding in the Sahara Desert has scientists racing to understand what these dramatic changes could mean for our planet's future. The perfect storm. When dark clouds gathered over the northwestern Sahara in September, few could have anticipated the extraordinary events that were about to unfold. This was no ordinary rainstorm, but an extratropical cyclone formed far over the Atlantic Ocean, which pushed deep into the desert, drawing moisture from equatorial Africa in a highly unusual pattern. The results were staggering. In just 2 days, some areas of the Sahara experienced nearly 8 inches of rain, an amount far exceeding the region's usual yearly totals. The town of Arachidia, located in southeastern Morocco, recorded almost 3 inches of rainfall during this period, a quantity 4 times its typical rainfall for the entire month of September. This weather system, identified by meteorologists as a rare extratropical storm, brought a level of rainfall and flooding never before seen in this arid desert, leading many to call it the perfect storm. What set this event apart from typical weather patterns was the unique development of the storm itself. The low-pressure system that formed over the Atlantic Ocean extended unusually far south, creating an atmospheric river that pulled tropical moisture from equatorial Africa directly into the heart of the Sahara. This flow of moisture, combined with the desert's distinct geography, especially the towering Atlas Mountains, contributed to the storm's intensity. The mountains helped lift the moisture-laden air, intensifying the precipitation as the system moved deeper into the desert. The combination of atmospheric conditions, wind patterns, and the perfect alignment of temperature factors resulted in an extraordinary storm whose ferocity left meteorologists and local inhabitants astounded.
Astounded they were. Of course. 48 hours, that's all it took. Now there's pools of water in the Sahara Desert. Come on, man. Can't make these things up, you know? And over here on the East Coast, you know, of Babylon, we can't get a drop of rain. You know, it rained a little bit one day, but it's been bone dry over here. And people were saying, you know, the powers that be are like, hey, conserve your water. Take a shower. Don't take a bath. But it's raining over there in the Sahara Desert. It's snowing over there in Saudi Arabia. Getting us ready because it's time to go. You know what I'm saying? Let's pack the bags. Let's mentally get out of this place. You know what I'm saying? And get ready to get the, you know, get the HE double hockey stick out of here. All right. It's going to turn to a lake of fire, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't look back. You know what I'm saying? Do not look back. Oh, man. I just bought this new Bentley. You know what I mean? It's got this new Rolls Royce. You know, what did Lot's wife really look back for? They had a couple dollars, you know what I'm saying? Because Lot had a lot of things and Abraham had a lot of things, so they had to split apart. So she probably looked back like she might have had a business. Like, dang, my business, did I lock the doors? Did I do this? Did I do that? Look back, turn to a pillar of salt. We ain't doing that. We're not looking back, all right? Full steam ahead. So speaking, John, full steam ahead. Let's look at this. Let's get Jared, the last scripture. No, matter of fact, go down to verse 3, Bubba Kashar. Yeah, let's keep reading. Let's keep reading Isaiah 35. Slakia. You there? You on mute.
Where am I?
Oh, Isaiah, we're still on 35. Isaiah 35, verse 3.
Come on, I got you. I'm still here. Verse 3. Strengthen ye the weak hands and confirm the feeble knees.
Be strong in these last days, y'all. Go ahead.
Say to them, there are of a fearful heart. Be strong, fear not. Behold, your God will come with vengeance, even God with the recompense. He will consume and save you.
He'll come and save you. He's going to come and save us, okay? So you got to be strong. You know what I mean? You got the weak hands, feeble knees. You know what I mean? You're in Babylon. It's rough. Trust and believe. I understand. Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to take this place, continue to take this place down, put in all the Nazis. They're just going to fall apart and dismantle this place. You know what I'm saying? To the point they're going to push people to the edge and them missiles on its way. Okay? Go ahead, verse 5.
Verse 5. The eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf shall be unstopped.
People are going to see what's going on. Go ahead.
6. Then shall the lame man leap as a hart, and the tongue of the dumb sing. For in the wilderness shall waters break out, and streams in the desert.
That's what's going on. Okay, go ahead. Read verse 7.
7. And the parched ground shall become a pool, and the thirsty land springs of water, and the habitations of dragons, where each lady shall be grass with reeds and rushes.
This is what's literally going on right now in places that should not have pools of water, that should not have, it would be considered a thirsty land, you know, that springs of water right now. 48 hours. And we've been watching this for a while take place. This is the more recent one. It happened in September. But we've been watching this happening all around in that area, and it's plush greenery growing in that land. And the animals are coming back like, oh, I could eat the grass over here. I can, you know. So, yeah, it's going down, okay? Now, let's finish with this. Let's go to Jeremiah 16 and verse 4. It's a bit much. So we're going to talk about what happened in Planet Fitness. Was sent by HOI correspondent Yash. Seems like Esau went in. So I'm assuming it's Esau because he went to a tanning bed. He went to a tanning bed and did not come out. Okay, like if it was Jake going into the tanning bed, nigga, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like, man, you kind of bought that. What are you doing? What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So I'm assuming it's not Jake, because you better be at the right place at the right time in these last days, and tanning bed ain't it. So this unknown unmanned person went to a tanning bed, laid down, I believe on Friday. We're gonna watch the video. And he didn't make it out. I don't know if the tanning bed malfunctioned, he couldn't get out, or he checked while he was in there, but he got burnt to a crisp. He was in there for days. He's smelling them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Planet Fitness guy, get better cleaning people. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that tanning bed's down, and that person ain't been there, 24-hour Planet Fitness. You just seeing that, oh, wasn't he here yesterday? Come on, man. Y'all gotta do something. But really, how about Shem Yahushai giving this man a grievous death? Oh, it was Esau. A needle was found next to him. He was a junkie. Okay. He overdosed. Listen, man, these people and their drugs, they're bringing down the community, He's probably on welfare, he's raised in a single parent household, Section 8 written all on him, man. You know what I mean? Food stamps, all that taken away from the hardworking American. This guy's doing dope and going to a tanning salon. It's disgusting. Okay. That was my Edomite voice. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 16 and verse 4.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 16 and verse 4. They shall die of a grievous death. They shall not be lamented, neither shall they be buried, but they shall be as dung upon the face of the earth, and they shall be consumed by the sword and by famine, and their carcasses shall be meat for the fowls of heaven and for the beasts of the earth.
That's a grievous death, man. You take a little nap. He's probably been shooting up dope since he's been born. You know how these people are. So he's shooting up his dope, and then he's like, let me take a nap, man. Well, guess what? You didn't wake up, man. See how these curses are just going right on them? You know what I'm saying? Because they laugh at us. We just got to sit there and take it. Well, now it's happening to them, And what are you going to say at the funeral? He was a good man. He ruined that tanning bed. How much does a tanning bed cost? Are they going to pay for that? Hopefully Planet Fitness gets their money back, because that's just ridiculous. Okay. But let's watch this. It's a short video because it just happened. So somebody made a short video and I thought, we'll watch it just because it has kind of what happened. It talks about what happened. Let's check it out.
He walked into the gym on Friday night and vanished into the shadows. For 3 agonizing days, his family was tormented by fear. Where was Derek Sink? The stench of decay, the horror of discovery. They found him in a tanning bed 3 days later, lifeless and cold. An ankle monitor revealed his final moments. But how did no one hear his screams? Be careful, because your next trip to the gym could end up being your last. Stay vigilant. The mystery remains unsolved. Is there more than meets the eye? Or is this just another case of a tan that was to die for? Tell me your thoughts in the comment section.
A tan to die for. Esau bidding on him. I was bidding, but Esau threw that in like a tan to die for. Man had an ankle monitor. He was a whole thug. You criminal. You on house arrest? And you go, tell your PO, I'm going to go to the gym. Really? To do what? It's like, I'm going to lift weights and work out. You're going to shoot dope in a tanning bed, aren't you? No, not me. Who goes to the gym and shoots dope? God, I got you. Who goes to the gym and shoots dope? Esau does. And his name is Derek Sink. He sank down to the bottom. They're sinking down to the pit. And just like in Seattle, right? Just like in Seattle, where the woman done hacked up her dad with an ice axe. It was called Spear Place. God has jokes. You know what I'm saying? He said, I'm gonna laugh at your calamity. None of this stuff's coincidence. Put it like that. Spiritually, you gotta see it. Go ahead. Somebody said Salakia.
It's weird because that means that the owners or the people who run the gym never, how they go through and do the last cleaning of everything. They never cleaned it. They never checked it for 3 days. And no one went in to tan for 3 days. Can you imagine that stench?
Oh my God.
So you're right. There's sinking and there's stinking too.
Oh, yes.
And he had an ankle monitor on because I think he was on house arrest or something like that. And they found the hypodermic needle next to him.
Oh
So
man.
he probably shot up and laid in the tanning bed and overdosed and died right there where he was.
What he's saying, Carlito's Way. He's like, let's go back a hell of a stink They're like, what's the smell? It's Yazo or whatever his name was. That's Yazo smell like that.
Wow, he smelled worse than burnt toast. Ugh.
Oh my goodness, that has to be terrible. Con, you know,
What a way to go, though.
Con, grievous death.
Right?
There's no P-Funk, you know, the Clinton, you know what I mean, and them can't match that type of funk, you know, the lakeside funk, you know what I mean, is that you had to air that out, you know what I'm saying? Like they had to go take that. Yeah, somebody, what's that?
Fumigate.
No. That's an Edomite sitting there burning in a tanning bed, and a heroin Edomite at that. So you know he was thinking, you know what I'm saying? I mean, all smell, but you know what I mean, like with the heroin juices coming out. Oh, I don't even think about it. But I wanted to end with that, you know, all praise to the Most High. Continue to, you know, give us, you know, the material and we can laugh, you know, and say that he is doing what he said he would do, you know. So that is the class, that is the lesson. Hopefully, everybody, you know, it was edifying. Let's all, you know, either prostrate, stand, but let's face the east. We're going to end with the Lord's Prayer. This is the Lord's Prayer in Paleo Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Quadash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malachwaka, Taba'ah, Ratazayaka, Haya, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashemayim, Natananawa, Lakam, Kau, Yawam, Wasalachnawa, Kabawafnawa, Hasalachnawa, Kabawafinawa, Wala'a, Tabinawa, Banasai 1, Abal, Hawashinawa, Mayan, Rai, Haya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Watapalraf, Lawunumnum, Amen. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6, and verse 9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Can all praises. Hopefully, learn something edifying, House of Horrors, and you know, make moves to quell any problems. You know what I'm saying? The scriptures say, if at all possible, you know, paraphrase and get along with everybody. You know what I mean? So you don't want to definitely they'll go back and forth, go to war with people in your own household. Oh, it's a little bit of orange juice left. What did the woman, I don't know, I'm pretty sure it was Esau, but you never know, that or could have been Moab, if anything, in Seattle. You know, over at the lights, you know, who left the lights on? You know what I mean? It's not worth dying over. Okay. You know what I mean? And pray for peace. You know what I'm saying? Pray for peace in your own house, not peace in the world. That ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Most I said, Yahushua said, you know what I mean? He didn't come for peace, he came for a sword. You know what I mean? So it's gonna get worse before it gets better. But at the same time, you know, pray for peace amongst yourself, around you, peace of mind, be able to sleep peacefully and you know, not deal with the things that these people had to deal with in the House of Horrors in their own house. Okay. Okay, brothers, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah. Sisters, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Shemarathan. Khan. Home Yashala. We got next. Shalom.
Shalom.